Hello, welcome to Healing with podcast. I am Marissa McDevitt, your host, mindset coach, mentor, and founder of Healing Center. Tired of all the BS? So was I. This podcast is my raw, unfiltered take on life, sharing my personal experiences, lessons, and healing practices that helped me break free from the cycles that no longer serve me. I'm just an average woman who decided to stop settling and start speaking up. Here we dive deep into the messy, beautiful, and sometimes painful realities of life, business, and relationships. No fluff, no judgment, just real talk, real growth, and real transformation. This is a safe space for anyone, women, men, and all the beauties in between. So who's ready to raise their standards, heal, and step into their power? Let's learn, grow, and evolve together. Now tune in and let's talk about it. All right. Welcome back to Healing with podcast. And today we're going to be talking about business myths, taxes, and all the fun things that come with starting a business and all the lies we hear, right? So we're going to debunk all of them for the most part. But first, I'm going to shout out, because I love doing this, my listeners from all over the world. And US is still ahead in the front. So go USA. Thank you for all my listeners there. But I want to shout out to Vietnam, because people in Vietnam are listening. They like almost have as many downloads as USA. So whoever's in Vietnam, thank you. Keep sharing, keep listening, and please comment where you're from in my episodes, because I would love to see you in the comments as well. Along with, does it translate to your language? I'm still trying to figure that out. Does it automatically do it? I really don't know on my side, but check this out. We have listeners from Australia, Brazil, Ecuador, Iraq, Argentina. Okay, this is a fun one. Azerbaijan, okay? Which is so crazy because I didn't even know where that country was. And my friend just reached out to me and he was like, dude, my stepmom lives there. Maybe she's listening. Like, that's where she's from. Like, who knows? I don't know. India, Mexico, Bangladesh, Belarus, Chile, Cambodia, Germany, Algeria, Egypt, Spain, France, Hong Kong, Jamaica, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Lebanon, Morocco, Peru, Syrian Arab Republic, Tunisia, and South Africa. And don't judge me because I probably butchered half of those. But you know what? We're making it around the globe. And that is my goal. So I see it on my end, who's listening, and it's super fun. It's super cool to see another country light up and also learn about other countries like that I didn't know about, like Azerbaijan. Hopefully I said it right. All right. Now, to jump into the episode. So, starting a business is not what Instagram makes it look like. Okay? So, I am now a year and a half into my business. I do not have a business degree. I literally built this business from nothing, which is probably why I'm making this episode, okay? So I'm still learning. This is real life experiences. This is not theory. This is literally what I've been going through because I've built it myself. Disclaimer for all of you out there, I am not a tax professional. I am not an accountant. I do not have a business degree. This is based on my personal experiences navigating my first year in my business. So, with that being said, let's talk about the real side of business, okay? And how media glamorizes entrepreneurship, okay? But I have had to learn the hard way and I'm going to share it, just like my whole podcast, all of my episodes. I usually have to learn the hard way, and then I share it with y'all so you don't have to go through the shit I've done, okay? Or do the mistakes I've made. You can maybe hopefully bypass them or learn a little bit something and, skip the lesson that I had to learn. Business myth number 1. It's easy to start a business, especially in America. Wrong. Here's the reality. I'm not saying that it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. It is not easy to start a business, but it's very possible to start a business. Hence, I started one. A lot of people do, whether in America or not. Okay. So the reality is, number 1 is getting your LLC. That's just step 1. But then you have to get business bank accounts, which have all the requirements. You have to get approved for business credit cards. You have a financial setup that you have to do. And then you have all these unexpected costs immediately, which nobody talks about, like banking fees if you don't have the money to put in your bank and all the things. So let me just double check here. Exactly. So let's go back to the banking, right? So first, it costs money for your LLC. We all know that, okay? Then, to open up a bank account, usually, at least in America, you have to have $2,000 in the bank to open it up. I can't remember. I went through Chase Bank, so I think it was $2,000 at all times. And if you go under, I get charged a monthly fee. I think it's $15 or $30 a month. I was lucky, and my fiance gave me 2 G's to put in the bank because I didn't have I'm starting a business. Who has $2,000 to put in their business? I barely had $2,000 in my bank account. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big myth. Starting a business is easy. No, you better have a couple G's in the bank if you don't want all these extra fees and all these extra, all the things, right? Yes, but the beautiful thing about it was I learned immediately. Right? So I reached out to my friends who were in business. I didn't ask the right questions at first because I didn't know what to ask. But now with the use of AI, you guys, it's the easiest time to be alive. We have technology as a tool, so use it. Literally type in what business questions to ask my business friends if I'm just now starting a business. Boom, ChatGPT will give it to you. And then honestly, ChatGPT or what do I use now? Gemini, or what's the other ones? Cloud. They all will give you the answers as well. But I love AI and I love technology. However, I want to hear from an actual human being, their personal experience. So I reached out. But there's free resources as well. Just go on Google. You can even put it in ChatGPT. What free resources do I have to help start my business? Myth number 2, you'll make money right away. Wow, was that a eye-opener for me, eh? Income is very inconsistent at first. And if you open a business and you blast off right away, good for you, amen, you hit the lottery. Because that's a 1%. The rest of us takes time, okay? The rest of us have to start from nothing and build and build and build and build and build and build and build. That's just the reality of it. So you may work your 40-hour regular job, right? And then you're going to come home before or after work and you're putting in 40 or 50 hours a week building your business. It's just how it is. That's the reality of starting a business. Okay? So here's some important advice. Do not quit your day job. And I repeat, do not quit your day job until you have 6 months of savings for all your bills or your business is making 2 times the amount you need a month to survive. Why? Because let me tell you what I did. 6 months into my business, I had a few contracts that were not in writing. Okay, it was just over email, he say, she say. And I quit my day job. And I was going on this big journey across the country to go full send on my business because I was relying on word of mouth. and like what they said, because I worked for them before, I trusted them, all the things. Yeah, that ended up a big hell no. So I went into debt, big debt, like 20 G's in debt. Big lesson there. That is another reason why America, I don't know how it is in other countries and how cool would this be. So everybody listening from all over the world, please comment. Let me know how it is in your country if you start a business, because this is how it works in America. If you start a business in America, a small business, you have up to 3 years before you have to start showing income. So I can literally say I made $0, which was almost pretty accurate in my first year. And I'm not going to get penalized for it, or it's not going to like really flag anything, because America gives small business owners 3 years to get their shit together. Meaning information that I learned, like LLC stuff, fees, spreadsheets, all the things, right? Teaches you how to build momentum to get clients, because it does take a long time. Even Emma Grede, she's like a billionaire, amazing, super sophisticated woman. And she even says, like, if you're going to start a business, expect to go all in for the first 10 years before you even like get comfortable in living. Which means like you're probably going to be working another job for the first 10 years. Or like you're going to be like able to pay your bills, but you're not going to be like, millionaire status probably until you've done 10 years of work in your business. And now, does that mean for every single person? No, but that is the kind of the standard. The first year to 3 years are your heavily like grinding phase, like you're in it. And I would say like year 4 is probably when you can quit the 40 hour a week job, or you can like go down a little bit and hopefully go full-time in your business. But that is kind of the reality of it. And of course there's always those lottery ticket winners where their business does blast off in the first year or the first month or whatever, so it is possible. I'm just saying, for the 99% of us, you're going to be working your booty off. So myth 3, this one. Business taxes are separate from personal taxes. That's a lie. So when you file your taxes, just like how they make you get separate bank accounts, like I thought, they say keep everything separate. So in my head, I was like, all right, your personal taxes are separate from your business taxes. So in most small business cases, you actually file your business taxes and your personal taxes together. Yes. Because, let me explain this to you. The first year to 3 years, you're going to be having another, like a W-2. You're going to be working on the side because you're building a business, right? My dumb self thought, I have everything else is separate. My bank accounts, my statements, everything. So it must be separate for personal. And I've been filing my personal taxes for 10 years by myself on TurboTax. I love TurboTax. So I just filed them myself. And then, went to my tax lady all like ready to go. My first year, had all my paperwork. And she's like, yeah, you filed them together. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So then we had to do an amendment. It's this whole thing, right? Now it's a pain in the ass. The confusion between all of that is you file your taxes together. Now, myth 4, because we hear this one a lot. All right. You get money back from business taxes. The reality is your deductions are not free money. Okay. So deductions reduce taxable income. Let me explain it like this. Think of deductions like coupons. You only get money back if you overpaid in taxes. For example, when you get money back, this is in America, when you get money back at the end of the year, if you have a W-2, that is because you overpaid the standard tax deduction that they take out of your checks. For me, I bartend a lot. So a lot of the times I'll make quite a bit of money. There was a year where I made it was like almost 80 grand a year, which is quite a bit of money for me. I hit a different tax bracket and I had to pay in like 3 G's. And that was a lot of money for me because I didn't put that money aside. Nobody told me about different tax brackets. So from then on, now everywhere I go, I always take out $10 to $20 more out of each paycheck so I don't owe in. Now, if I get a little bit of money back at the end of the year, awesome. Like, cool. However, the way it works in America is you want to stay neutral, like at a zero balance. So you don't want to overpay and you don't want to underpay. Deductions. You only get deducted from the taxable income you put in. Let's say this is just ballpark, I'm not good with numbers. So let's say I made 30 grand in sales. 15,000 of that I owe taxes on because in America, they tax the shit out of you, okay? I'm sure in other countries they do too. So let's say I owe $15,000, okay? I have $15,000 or $16,000 in deductions. And deductions is from business meals, business meetings, business trips, business supplies, new computer, new microphone, new, Reiki table, new whatever your business is, it's those deductions. So I have $15,000 I owe, but because I have $15,000 in deductions, that acts as a coupon for my taxes owed. So then at the end of it, they'll say, oh, you pretty much have like zero. You don't owe anything to your business or you don't owe anything to the government because you have the deductions. Or you might get $100 back or you might have to pay in $100, whatever. So that's kind of how it works. That was a big one for me because you hear all these people saying, yeah, I got $20,000 back in my first 2 years. And I'm like, what? Like, first off, how do you get 20 G's back from taxes in the first 2 years? And then how my tax accountant explained to me, one, they probably have children. In America, you get a tax, you get money back, like a tax deduction, like $2,000 per kid, or I don't know exactly what it is. Two, they probably have another W-2 where they're probably actually making, over $80,000 or $90,000 a year, and they pay taxes in on that. And because their business took an L, that means somehow they didn't really have to pay in as much taxes as they normally would because their business took an L. So that way they get more back. I don't know. It's kind of sketchy, but whatever. That's just how it works. Or they're married and other things can account charity, stuff like that. That is how people get money back. Not because you have all these deductions and you think you're going to get all your money back. Or even I was told that, oh, you'll get your startup costs back up to $5,000. That's literally what I was told by someone. That is not true. You do not get that back. In deductions, you do if you paid taxable income. But if you're showing a zero profit or a few $100s, there's nothing to tax, so you can't even use the deductions. Do you understand? So deductions are very important when you're making money. When you have clients and income coming in all the time, you want deductions because it helps you not have to pay in so much money. So a little tip for me lately is every client I have now, even though America doesn't take 50% of your taxes, they take a lot, but not 50. I'm still putting 50% of every sale I make away into a little tax account. So at the end of the year, I have money to pay my taxes and a little extra. So if I want to buy, a new business item, I actually have that. And then eventually, when you start making a lot of money, you want to do quarterly taxes where you go to your tax accountant quarterly and pay them. So you're not having to pay, 30, 40, 50 G's at once. You could pay 10,000 every few months. Myth 5, you need all the tools and the apps to start. You need QuickBooks and you need this and you need this app and you need this app and this app and this app. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. First off, I tried to use QuickBooks and I had no idea I was like, dude, do you need a class on this? Like, I need to go to school. Now I understand why people go to business school. Now I understand why people go to accounting classes. Like, I'm really actually thinking about doing all that so I can get all my ducks in a row, because it's not easy. You want to make sure that you're doing things right, because, you don't want to get screwed by anybody or anything. You want to have your ducks in a row. You don't need the expensive software or the fancy systems at first. Just start. Start making content on your iPhone. Start making content with the GoPro. Start simple. Start with what you can afford. And every few months, buy a new item. Guess what? It's all deductible because you're using it for your business. That is the cool part. Let's go back to the deductions and the business credit cards and stuff. You have to pay that back, right? Obviously. So when I went into 20 grand in debt, half of that was on my business card, because I literally went across the country on a business trip thinking I was getting this contract for the summer. And I got there and they were like, nope, our sales are down. We don't need you. After they told me to be there on a specific date. I had to pay that back. I had to go back to bartending full time, which is what I'm doing. That's why I'm working 90 hours a week. Go back. And I've been paying this shit off month and month and month and month and month. I mean, thousands of dollars. Thousands. It's a great lesson to learn. Never doing it again. And I'm proud to announce that my business credit card is completely paid off. My other credit card is completely paid off. And now I just have $1,000 total and credit card debt. That's going to be paid off next week. And I am completely credit card debt free for the first time in 3 years. And a lot of that has to do with my handsome hunk of a fiance, because he helps support, the house and the bills. And so I can work all these hours and put all my money towards that to get out of this financial hold. And like, what a burden. It is such a burden to be in debt. And I know I had to go through all this to feel how heavy and like stuck I felt, to not ever do this again. Now, are you going to go into debt owning a business? Absolutely. Are you going to take out loans eventually and have big purchase orders? Yes. However, you're going to be more aware about it and you're going to understand how it works. This was a whole year and a half of me learning how credit card debt works, how business loans work, how all of it works, for me to like be prepared for the next steps in the future. And if you follow the Dave Ramsey plan, which I do, I love Dave Ramsey. I love all of his books. I've read all of his books. I listen to his podcast. I listen to his show. I love Dave Ramsey. He will explain all the information, and we buy everything cash. So like that is going to be my goal this next year, is to save up for the things I want and buy it outright. So like, yes, put it on your business card, but like have the money by that month to pay it off completely. So I don't ever have to go through this again. You need all the tools and apps to start. Okay, so you don't. Start simple. Also, use AI. You guys, hello. Use it. Gemini, ChatGPT, your freaking personal assistant. Okay? They are your personal assistant. They are your tools. Use them as a tool. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Use them as a tool. I did my full business taxes by myself in a spreadsheet, which I didn't even really know how to use spreadsheets. Thank you to YouTube and thank you to ChatGPT and Gemini for literally guiding me through for every single question. What category does this go in? Does this count? What do I do here? How do I do this? What do I do? How do I present myself to my tax accountant? Step by step by step. I busted it out. Use AI as a tool. Don't rely on it for business purposes, and I'll explain that here in a little bit, because you need to be authentic. But for tools and a personal assistant, heck to the yes. And if you are a personal assistant and you're not using ChatGPT to help whoever you're a personal assistant for, this is your sign. Get on it. Get used to it. Let's go. Myth 6. Yeah. If you build it, people will come. Honestly, here's the thing. Yes and no. So you still need a following. You still need to promote yourself, and you still need to create content. And that means, for example, even my coaches, they were recommending people to quit their jobs and go all in on their coaching business without even having any followers or clientels or clients, followers, or a brand or anything. I was one of those people. Okay. I made a little bit of contact here and there. Now, they did say you have to be consistent and post every day, but they also said, you don't have to have content and a following. And my experience, that's bullshit. In my experience, you can get one client maybe a month if you don't have a following or content or anything. But you need to have some kind of platform that you're going all in on so people can see you. So you have to work on yourself of getting over the camera shy or whatever. And if you don't want to be on camera, then AI builds you a freaking, I don't know what they're called, where it's a cartoon character review. If you really want to go that route, whatever. The fact is that you have to put yourself out there. You also might have to give away free sessions and ask for testimonials. And the truth is word of mouth is powerful, but it's not guaranteed. So you must still market yourself. Honestly, I get a lot of my clients from word of mouth. I do a session for someone for a fraction of the price. They go around and they tell people and they send people to me. And I do referral programs. And you should do that too. You're going to have to do that for the first 3 years, honestly, until you're making enough income to stop doing that kind of stuff. And for me, I think it's awesome because I love giving away stuff. I love hosting parties. I love hosting sessions. I love introducing this kind of healing work to people. So to me, it's awesome to do once a month. Or if I connect with someone really well and I know they're struggling financially but would love to try, I bring them in. Okay? Business is not for everyone. Not everyone should start a business. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It requires emotional resilience, discipline, and a long-term vision. Okay? We need those people who just like to work their 9-to-5 jobs. Okay? We need those people who are just comfortable with barely paying their bills and working the same exact job, having their same schedule. We need those people because not everyone could be a CEO. That's why there's the ground workers. That's why there's supervisors. That's why there's managers. That's why there's CEOs. And that's why there's CFOs. Whatever the heck. Okay? Not everybody can be a CEO. And not everybody can be a janitor. Whatever works for you, works for you. If working your 9-to-5 factory job is keeping you afloat and you feel alive and you feel happy, then perfect. But if you have the drive and the vision and you don't want to work for anybody anymore and you're sick of working for people and you want your own schedule, starting a business is for you. And you're like, wait a minute, Marissa, you just said that you're going to work 80 hours and 90 hours a week for the first 3 years. You are. And then probably for another, 3 years after that, full-time in your business. But that's the name of the game. That's why, it's not made for everybody. And it's why start a business then? Because it sounds way too hard and too much work. Freedom, because eventually you will have freedom. Purpose, what is your purpose? What are you driven to do? Okay, let me tell you something. What I'm not driven to do is to be a janitor, even though I'm a janitor in my own house right now. What is my purpose to do? Is to do what I love doing and be able to live off of what I'm doing and help other people and coach other people. and thrive with other people and heal with other people. That's my purpose. Everybody's purpose is different. I create my own reality, okay? In your business, when you're starting a business, you create your own reality. You create your own business, right? And then the fun thing is like building something from nothing. I've built something from absolutely nothing. My vision, my thoughts. That's how it works. And once you start seeing things falling into place, it gives you more drive, more ambition. And it's taken me about 1.5 years for me to finally start seeing things falling into place and saying, like, you are on the right track. Okay, keep going. Because there's been a few times where I'm like, F this, especially when I was in loads of debt. I was like, oh my God, how am I ever going to dig myself out of this? This was not the right move for me to do, you know? And here's a couple business tips. 1, use AI as your assistant, okay? Organization, taxes, guidance, content creation, business questions. 2, have a sacred schedule. Yes. So batch your work. I have, every day of the week, I have a specific day designated to certain things. Mondays are my podcast days, motivational Mondays, okay? Tuesdays are my in-person Reiki clients. My writing day, write my book. Wednesdays before bartending job is book program, my everything to do with my book. Then Wednesday through Sunday, I bartend at night. Wednesday through Sunday in the mornings, I'm meditating, I'm going to the gym, I'm tanning, I am doing little bits and pieces of like editing content that I made in the first 3 days of the week. So really get a sacred schedule going. Another tip is that, you got to go all in. The grind phase requires sacrifice. I work my ass off. I work, and I love it. It's just installed in me. I love it, okay? You do have to have a little bit of fun every once in a while, okay? Because you have to have joy in yourself, which helps you have joy in your business, and it gives you more creativity. So when you're just like grinding it out every single day for a month straight, that's awesome, but then you kind of get stagnant. So you need to go do something fun, whether it's rollerblading, whether it's playing pickleball with your friends, whether it's going to a concert and dancing, that's what we like to do, whether it's going on vacation, for a weekend, a month, whatever. You still have to get out and be healthy for yourself as well. And then this one, human connection is everything. So as much as I love AI and we use it as a tool and we use it in the business, amazing. Authenticity sells you. People will buy you, not just your service. If they can tell like you're an actual human being, a human coming from like genuine things, being honest and truthful and loving, they're going to feel that in your videos. They're going to feel that when they come get a session from you. They're going to feel that when they come buy the product from you. Authenticity over perfection is key. So you can use all the AI tools you want, but people are wanting more human connection than ever before. And let me give you some facts. There are no phone restaurants popping up more and more and more each day. They're getting more popular where you cannot be on your phone at the restaurant. That is amazing. There are no phones at concerts. That is popping up more and more and more. Why? Because just as much as it's important, you need to disconnect from it. You need to have that time of disconnection. Connect within yourself, connect with other humans, soul to soul, contact to contact. And mindset is everything. Woo! All right? You have to handle criticism. You have to handle the no-shows. You have to handle the slow growth, okay? How I look at it is as I'm learning from every criticism I get. When someone tells me I didn't do a good job or I messed up at work or I handled a situation wrong and I have to have a hard conversation with my manager or a client, I'm learning on what I can do better for the next time. So the no-shows, learn how to adjust. You're going to have it. Life happens, okay? If you're getting a lot of no-shows, have a fee. Have a $25 fee if they don't show up. Charge the card. If you don't, have a backup plan to where like, okay, if they no show, I'm going to do an hour meditation instead or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And the slow growth, like having patience and having the mindset of like being your number one cheerleader, because you have to believe in you to keep going. When you're having zero sales after zero sales after zero sales and you're trying and you're trying and you're trying, you still have to keep going. Give yourself 1 to 3 years. I'm giving myself 3 years. I'm at the 1.5 mark and I'm slowly seeing it trickle in. So it does take time. And the bigger message about this all is like you create your own reality. So you can stay comfortable with your life or you can go all in. There's no wrong path. It's just your path. But how I look at it is like we have one chance right now in this lifetime, this present moment. So why not every single day go all in? Why not dream big? Why not see the beautiful vision for yourself? Why not want the best for your kids? Why not want the best for your husband and a marriage and a relationship and a travel and whatever that vision looks like for you? Why not? I would rather be in La La Land having a big vision and dream and knowing that I am worth all of it than being in cuckoo land and being stuck in old patterns and watching the news, which tells lies to your vision, and hanging out with negative self-talk people. That was not for me. I quit that years ago. So join me in the la side. Where we dream big, where we create our own reality, because it works, people. This is true. It works, okay? Doesn't matter where you're at, what country you're in, or how your situation is, you can create your own reality. You can make it happen. It is possible. We are extraordinary beings on this beautiful planet. And with that being said, like this is literally who I help. People starting from nothing. In my coaching programs, I help entrepreneurs, parents, students, people seeking deeper purpose, and people literally starting from nothing. I've helped people who are drug addicts, who had 0 jobs. I've helped people who are single mothers. I've helped people who have a business, but just want a deeper spiritual awakening, a deeper spiritual awareness. Okay, I've helped college students organize their life and not feel so burnt out or overwhelmed from working jobs and going to college and pursuing their career. So I offer mindset work, spiritual growth, vision building, accountability. I hold space for all of it. So if you feel called ever to work with me, please apply for my coaching programs. I'm going to put the link below. All right. It's always on my website. So you could go to my website, mmhealingcenter.com, and you click apply, and it's just a form you fill out. All right. And follow my socials, because I am doing a free webinar once a month through my social media. Okay. And I do giveaways on there. Also, my Reiki sessions are available. I am fully open on my books for Reiki sessions and coaching clients right now. So again, life is too short. Let's go all in. Why not? And the affirmation I want to end on today is I trust in my vision. I honor my path, and I am building a life and business that aligns with my highest purpose. Everything I desire is already on its way to me because I'm willing to show up, do the work, and believe in myself. And with much love, have a beautiful day.